The modern day is a world that turned out to be the easiest world of the entire challenge. Why, you may ask? Because other than Queen Elizabeth II, I am the most skilled PvZ gamer in history. Even though this world is pretty easy, there are still plenty of observations to be made. But before we get into that, why don't you subscribe for more challenge content such as this? And in case you missed it, the previous videos in this challenge are on the playlist on screen. The challenge continues for the last time on day 1, where the plants continue to verse the zombies, and it is here where we had our very first problem of this world. Technical difficulties. My PC decided to turn off my mouse, meaning I had to go under the desk and unplug it and replug it. But unfortunately, on my way up, I banged my head against the desk. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Fucking table! Jesus! This incident opened my third eye, showing me things I never thought possible, but it also gave me voices in my head. So with the help of the new voice in my head, who I've called Fred, we beat this day on our first attempt. We continue on to day 2, where we already encounter a Garg, but thanks to our shenanigans in the Big Wave Beach, we managed to beat this day on our first attempt. This world has a lot of days like this where there really isn't anything to comment on other than it was easy, so to save all of your sanity, for this final world I've decided to rephrase the word easy to banana bum bum. You're welcome, chat. We continue on to day 3, where we have one of our final encounters with Chill Bill before moving on to day 4, which was a banana bum bum day, with the only thing notable happening being the return of the Neon Mixtape Tour zombies. And now, for no reason whatsoever, I wanted to address an elephant in this room that's been lingering over us for this whole challenge. For some reason, people have been commenting asking me to use the magnifying glass, but take a look at this picture. Do you see any grass here? No, exactly. I'm a renter in the UK housing market, which very clearly means I'm not good enough for grass. Moving on to day 5, I had a sudden realisation. If I didn't actually go and fertilise my plants in Big Wave Beach, then I am certain this world would have not been possible at all. The sheer bullshit this world throws here basically forces your hand into levelling. Try this shit with level 1 plants. Go on, you won't. Day 6 was where we had our very first fail of this world. The reason for this is I fully went into autopilot and Fred took control. Unfortunately, Fred is a forgetful little guy, and he might have forgot to produce the 4,000 sun necessary to pass this day. As soon as I took back control, this day was banana bum bum. Continuing on to day 7, we had a banana bum bum day, and then we go on to day 8, where PopCap shows us the gimmick they must have been so proud of since they won't stop making me play it. On these days, we have to play a little bit of Candy Crush in order to pass, and some people in Twitch chat were actually telling me this wasn't Candy Crush, but instead it was a reference to PoopCap's previous game, but I wasn't listening, to be honest. Speaking of which, all my footage is streamed over at twitch.tv/Huey, so come and give me a follow, or else. Day 9 was a given plant day, and day 10 was a day that struck fear into my very soul. It was the return of the Weasel zombie. Fortunately, I just whipped out my bramble and we beat this day on our first attempt. Same goes for day 11. Day 12 was yet another day that struck the fear of God into me. It was the return of the cock zombie. But this day managed to redeem itself by bringing back the red one to say hi to all of us. What a chill guy. I guess you could say he's chill like Bill. Day 13 was Candy Crush, and on day 14 we had pre-picked plants, day 15 we had to protect our nut, day 16 we had to chill with Bill, and then we had to continue on to day 17 and 18, which were all banana bum bum days. I'm starting to think I might have just barely over-leveled in Big Wave Beach. These days were followed by the red one with Chill Bill on day 19, and on day 20, we had the sad tomato carry us through it. Fortunately, on day 21 we finally had something interesting to talk about. We meet a new zombie type, the All-Star Zombie. What this guy does is he sprints into your plants at Mach 67 before becoming a normal zombie and dying. I don't know, to be honest, I'm mentally checked out at this point. We then continue on to day 22, where we have another Candy Crush day. On stream, a viewer suggested I should just forego talking about the Candy Crush days, and instead I should mention a fact about the geopolitical climate of Uruguay. But I really don't know enough to comment on it, so maybe I'll just leave it. Did you know Uruguay is recognised for its strong democratic institutions and political stability? Of course there are always problems, but Google won't tell me. As always, I highly encourage everyone to do their own political research and not take one jackass's word as gospel. Day 23 and 24 we beat on our first attempt, and on day 25 we encountered Chill Bill for the final time. Goodbye Chill Bill, and thank you for your service. Day 26 was a banana day, and on day 27 I learned even more about the geopolitical climate of Uruguay. But on day 28 we actually had another fail. Fred took control of the wheel, and once again he forgot to produce the 3000 sun necessary to pass this day, but fortunately I took back control and we did manage to beat this day on our second attempt. This was followed by day 29, which was a day of all time, which we beat with banana. This was followed by day 30, which was the only challenging day of the entire world. Oh yes, I get to vigorously rub it up and down once again. The only reason this day was so challenging was due to the flowers we needed to protect being so far into the lawn, and the fact that stupid ass Fred decided to put a sad tomato on the conveyor belt when it just doesn't fire fast enough. This led to a bunch of zombies trampling my flowers. Fortunately, on the second attempt I did my usual setup, but put some sunflowers in front of the flower bed, and thanks to my special fertiliser, our sunflowers were now absolute units. They could tank any damage you threw at them, and they bought us just enough time to put down enough sad tomatoes to smite all of our foes, winning the day. This was then followed by the final proper day of the entire series with day 31, which was unfortunately the easiest day in the whole world. But as you may know, we aren't done yet. There are 3 final days to go where we face off against the Zomboss. Our first face off was in the Wild West, where I called down my good old friend, YouTube commenter Tory Bergman, who struck him down where he stood. Cheers Tory, I'm glad Tory is just your name and not representative of a certain UK political party that crashed the economy. We then move on to our second face off, where we call down our friend YouTube commenter Dovahkiin, who uses Dragonborn Shout to smite down the Dark Ages Zomboss. Thank you Dovahkiin, you are very cool. And finally, we can face the final Zomboss, which takes place in the Lost City. It was today where I finally learned that these Zomboss fights were actually randomised. So in my Beans Only challenge where I had to face the final Zomboss in Neon Mixtape Tour, that was just the game trying to fuck with me. Anyway, here I call down my good old friend Shadowmancer with a top hat, who uses his top hat to viciously beat the Zomboss to death. It's a bit excessive, but I really dig it. And with the power of friendship, we have finally beat Plants vs Zombies 2 with only plants I've grown in real life. I would like to thank you all for sticking around in this challenge, and I hope you'll all stay for the next one, which has the in-development title of OnlyFans. If you want to be my assistant in my next video of whatever I do, don't forget to comment, "Holy guacamole Huey, this video was so awesome, you're so cool and awesome, please make me your assistant, ooh woo." And with all that said and done, to end the series, I've just got one last thing to say. Fuck Neon Mixtape Tour. Hey, so my outro music is copyrighted, so if you could just hit that subscribe button, I'll be very happy. Anyway, here's a clip from my last Twitch stream. I picked it at random just for your viewing pleasure. I want to go back to watching furries!